Morning. The show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, it is the Monty Show, 426. Bro, we've done 426 of these, and still it amazes me that not everyone has subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Unbelievable.
Just search YouTube for The Monty Show. MONTY, The Monty Show. On YouTube, we're live Monday through Friday, somewhere around 6 a.m. Mountain, 5 a.m. Pacific, you know. Yeah, hit it on YouTube, The Monty Show. MONTY, The Monty Show. And smash subscribe. Yes, we're going to talk Deshaun Watson. Yes, we're going to talk the Phoenix Suns. Hell yes. We're going to rip Robinhood. And I got a lot of flack last night, Jake. I don't know. Is this what the show is today? Maybe we just start with Robinhood. I don't know.
See how long Robinhood can take us.
Yeah, I mean...
I didn't mean literally in the real world. I meant on the show, but you know.
Yeah,
sorry, there's some confusion there.
I don't think I go long on Robinhood right now, but you know. I mean, listen, I think the thing, and everybody's already on it. Already on it. Twitter, relax. I think the thing that stands out to me, and let's just be honest, when you look at what's going on with Robinhood, and you look at what the situation is with that stock, generally AMC, GameStop, when you look at that situation, you start to understand that you are not in control of your money right now. And I said the same thing about the mortgage bailout and the huge short that happened in the mortgage industry back in 2008 that I'm going to say right now about Robinhood and the stock market. The little guy always winds up at the bottom of the hill with a giant wave of crap rolling down at him. And in this situation, if you don't know the story, Robinhood, which is named after Robin Hood, you know, the story of the guy
Robin of the Hood?
Yeah, who stole from the rich to give to the poor. Mm-hmm. That was the concept of Robinhood. It was probably never true. It was probably never in their ethos or their modus operandi, the way they do business. Legit, it was probably never built that way.
Right, yeah.
Because when you start out Robinhood, you got billions of dollars influxed from hedge funds. Mm-hmm. Babbitt Capital, or Rabbit Capital, whatever the hell it is.
You know,
was one of the first to really seed fund Robinhood. So you were always at Robinhood going to be accountable, and you were always going to be held to account by hedge fund billionaires. Mm-hmm. That was always going to happen. So this idea that all of a sudden Robinhood was going to be, just some incredible, oh my God, these guys are doing it for the day trader. No, they're not. So should any of us really be surprised when yesterday they said, hey, fuck off, you're not going to buy GameStop and you're not going to buy AMC. But do you want to go ahead and sell your GameStop and your AMC? Yeah, go ahead and dump it. Let's go ahead and dump it. You can sell it, you can't buy it. Why is that significant? Here's why it's significant. Because what happens when you have a massive amount of shorts on a company like GameStop? Well, those shorts are betting on the fact that they're going to fail. GameStop is going to fail and liquidate because the stock price is going to go down. How does the stock price go down? Well, the stock market is supply and demand. The more people dumping, the more the stock price goes down. The more people buying, the more the stock price goes up. So what did Robinhood do? They froze trading on several stocks, including GameStop and AMC Entertainment. So what happened? People panicked. There was a correction. Many people dumped GameStop and AMC stock. I'm not one of those. I held, by the way. I have huge balls. I held.
Cojones.
Cojones.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm probably not very intelligent either. But the point is, I held my position on AMC. I told you the other day, I bought in. I held my position on AMC. Will I get rewarded for that today? Well, we're up 80% in pre-market trading so far. So we've made up most of the gains we lost yesterday. But the point is, why was Robinhood allowing people to sell but not allowing them to buy? For one reason and one reason only. And that is to protect the hedge funds who make their existence possible. That's why Robinhood was doing what they were doing. Why were the mortgage companies selling their shit mortgages with 550, 600 credit scores, with strippers in Florida buying 5 houses at the peak of the mortgage boom? Well, why were they doing that? Because they were profit taking, and who was paying the ultimate price? The little guy. It was the guy in Stockton, California. It was the guy in Henderson, Nevada, who, when the bubble burst, everybody got foreclosed on because, remember, there were those balloon payments that were due that no stripper in Florida, I don't care how many twerks she does every night, is going to be able to afford 5, let alone 1, let alone 5 balloon payments on a mortgage. But then again, I'm not the founder and CEO of Robinhood, who was on Chris Cuomo primetime last night on CNN. And if you want to know the depths that this company in Robinhood has sunk to, just listen to this exchange right here.
But we in no way...
why? Explain why you had to do it if it wasn't to protect the guys who had shorted the stocks, which are the big hedge funds. How are you helping the little guy investors?
Well, I know that there's rumors around that, we were directed by market makers or other market participants to do this. And I want to be 100% clear. This decision was not made on the direction of any market maker or other market participants. So
why'd you do it?
Decision. Robinhood, as a brokerage, has lots of financial requirements, SEC requirements. We have to put up money at clearinghouses. The amount of money that we have to put up depends on market volatility, and we're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols that are going viral on social media. So we haven't really seen anything like this before. And to prudently manage the risk and the deposit requirements, we had to restrict buying in these 13 stocks. But customers that held them could sell throughout. Thousands of other securities and stocks on our platform were available to freely trade. And our number one priority, as you mentioned, is to make sure our platform is reliable, stable for our customers. We're serving our customers and giving them the tools.
But that's exactly what's in question now.
We're doing everything in our power.
Right? That's exactly what's in question now.
First of all, I just want to give Chris Cuomo credit. He did a hell of a job on that interview.
Oh, I totally agree. I think Chris did a very good job. And the thing, and I'm you watch Chris Cuomo every night,
right?
Why do you watch?
For that kind of a thing. I mean, I to be honest with you, I didn't watch him last night because I was too busy watching basketball.
Baker porn.
Yeah. Anyway, blow up doll. We get it. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's why I feel like, even if you're not a CNN guy, like, I think most people can appreciate what Cuomo's doing here in this interview, like the accountability piece and like basically grilling this guy because he is pretty much torching him. I mean, he's being pretty much black and white with the guy in hardcore. So I thought he did a great job. But yeah, I think the Robinhood CEO's name is Vlad. I think Vlad is trying to save his own ass.
Yeah, Vladimir
and I think it's so clear what he's doing. And it's a real shame because I think the whole concept of Robinhood is great, but at the end of the day, and maybe this is one of the biggest things that Yelp has done in my life is sales is sales. Whether you're selling a stock or whether you're selling Yelp or lemonade stand on the side of the street, you're going to do what you have to do to get the job done, and that's what they've done here. They protected their livelihood, and it's messed up. It's not the way it should be done, and you're right. The little guy continues to pay the price, and so we go to the store last night, and I was making the point that, like, at the end of the day, like, this is what the world is. This is what our country is, and at the end of the day, you just have to make a choice on who you're going to be. You either have to strive to be the big guy, You know, you have to work your ass off for 20, 25 years to get to a place where you can be part of a hedge fund or be, you know, in a place where you have a lot of money, or you're going to grind it out as the little guy. And it's a very frustrating situation in our country. There is no in-between anymore, and that's really unfortunate.
I don't know that there's ever been an in-between. If we're being totally honest, I think there's a lot of people who think, oh, well, yeah, the American dream. Look, we've just come out of World War II. I'm going to need 1,500 square feet of picket fence, a dog, and 3.5 kids, Mabel. That was never about the little man. Mm-hmm. Right? We needed the economy to boom so that the rich could become richer. And at that point, more millionaires came out of the industrial revolution, if you will.
Right.
The building boom after World War II. That's where it all, to me, goes back to and started. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you can go back to Ford and the Model T and the assembly line. Mm-hmm. Like, it's never been about the little guy. And I think until people fully grasp this concept, it's never been the American dream. You can own a home. Has never been about the consumer or the average American actually owning a fucking home in this country. It's been about the guy who funds the builders to build all those housing tracts. That's who it's about. It's always been about that. Why do you think right now in this country we are going into a position where we're coming out of a pandemic and the world is ending, and I can't believe 800,000 million trillion people are dead? Yet we made more billionaires during this pandemic than we've ever made in the history of this country. Because no matter what, the big man is going to eat. And until people realize that, that's never going to change. I look at this idiot this Omega Capital CEO that went on CNBC yesterday and absolutely torched the average Joe and basically said, hey, get out of the market, you don't belong here.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home, getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people, and, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
Oh, they're just sitting at home collecting their welfare checks. How many people, by the way, are there more people taking their welfare or their government checks and putting them into Robinhood? Or are there more people just trying to figure out how they're going to make that $600, stretch and feed their kids and pay their rent and their credit cards and their student loans that they should never have been in debt on? This isn't about people sitting at home, you prick, trying to figure out how to spend their $600 on GameStop. Mm-hmm. That's not, I am so tired of the elite rich guy in this country dictating to the average Joes. I'm in the stock market because I want to be. Am I in it for, look at what Robinhood did yesterday. They raised their minimum deposit to $25,000. How many 20-somethings have 25 G's sitting around? Well, they don't, because the system is set up to make sure that they are essentially indebted into their 40s. And that's only if they're lucky, because the people who went to school to be a flipping marine biologist who are now waiting tables at Chili's because somebody forgot to tell those people that marine biologist isn't a real thing that makes you money. How many of those people are out there? How many of those people are out there with 25 G's sitting in the bank? Not very many.
I agree. Completely.
I feel better. I am passionate about this. Not because I lost my ass or I really haven't lost anything.
Right.
My stock portfolio is everything from Apple and Tesla to Pfizer and American Airlines. Mm-hmm. My biggest winner right now, frankly, I bought really low on GE. Uh-huh. And GE's doing well. And the thing is that the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that this is not a game. This is not some sort of thing where, it's just, it's just a little, nobody's really getting hurt. People are losing their shorts on this. Mm-hmm. And for once, and I don't root for people to fail. I really don't. But you know what was nice about this? For once, it was a billionaire getting screwed by a 10,000-aire. It was nice that hedge fund billionaires who routinely root for companies like GameStop to go out of business were struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were feeling the pinch. They had to get out of their positions. They had to pay millions and millions and millions of dollars to buy their way out of this Reddit surge in GameStop and AMC.
And if you don't know what shorting stocks is, we're not going to go into it, but you need to go and look at it so you can understand why they were, the actual mechanics of why they were losing all the money.
But I think it's an important definition, actually. Shorting a stock, very simply, is you're betting that stock is going to plunge and that company is going to fail. Mm-hmm. So what you do is, let's say you buy it at $10 and you bet it's going to go down. And if it goes down, you make a ton of money. But if it goes up, let's say it goes up to $20 a share, mm-hmm. you have to pay that $10 on every share you own. So guys who short stocks don't buy 50 shares. They buy hundreds of thousands of shares. So that $10, now it's millions of dollars that they owe. And when you're into a stock that you shorted at $15, and now it's $398 in pre-market sharing, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to pay $388 for every share you bought. Mm-hmm. You're in trouble. Yeah. That's billions of dollars.
And I feel like the average person doesn't understand how much shorting of stocks happens. I mean, it's a daily thing. Like, it is a huge, dirty ass business.
There are hedge funds that are worth billions who only exist to bet on people failing and going out of business. Mm-hmm. Their only business is shorting stocks. That's all they do.
That's it.
And people buy that stuff. This is, again, not to keep going back. If you haven't seen the movie The Big Short, you really need to see it. Because I know I can't, it's got to be 25 or 30 people have asked me how to get into the market in the last couple of days. Like on Instagram, a bunch of people have messaged me, hey, I see you're doing this or that. Hey, how do I buy AMC stock?
And that right there is maybe the biggest problem.
That's a huge problem.
The idea that people don't even know how to get into the stock. It's not even about the money at the end of the day. It's never about the money, right? Like in life, it's never about the money. It's about the premise of what the villain's trying to do to the average Joe. And in this case, the villain is the hedge funds who shorted GameStop, and the Reddit user got a bunch of people together and flipped them the bird and said, we're tired of it. And so people like Vlad from Robinhood, who are seed funded by these hedge funds, who are, essentially leveraged and only in existence because they were able to get that money, of course they're going to protect that. I mean, What other choice does the guy have? I don't agree with it. I think it's awful. I think it's turning your back on everybody who isn't Joe Schmo billion-dollar guy, who invested in your platform. And this is the price you're going to pay, which is people don't trust you now.
Yep. Mike says, just found your show. Appreciate your passion. You're completely wrong. It has always been the strong surviving on Wall Street, and that's never going to change. Mike, appreciate you watching. You and I are on two different ends of the perspective here. My feeling is things have changed. What does the Joker say in The Dark Knight? Oh, you've changed things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Reddit trading has changed things. Reddit users have changed things. Here's how. They have told these billionaires, we're going to do what we want to do, and there's nothing you can do about it because we're going to spend our money on what we want to spend our money on. It's called a free market system, which we don't have apparently. But what's the next GameStop? What's the next AMC?
Well, if you're the Reddit users, you have that power.
You do.
That's the power that they have.
How do you think people are creating their own currency? that is the next big deal. There are companies out there, Bed Bath & Beyond's another one, that people are shorting in the billions, hoping that they will fail.
Right.
And so Reddit users have that on a list of stocks they're going to buy to screw the people, the funds that are shorting it. And to me, it's not going to always be the big guy eats on the stock market. Things have changed.
Yeah.
And Reddit has changed the way business is done. And if you don't embrace that, I think you are asking for trouble. If you don't realize that, yes, shorting is a position. Shorting is a way to make money. There's no question about that. But now it can be painful. Now it's going to be much, much, much more volatile.
Mm-hmm.
And I say good because I am all in favor. I am all in favor of people struggling to screw business. If your only intention is to screw people and make it so that they cannot succeed, I am all for you failing.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for you failing. Ronnie says, while your passion is admirable, the rich always control the swings, the highs and the lows. How? Like, okay.
So how did they control this?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so they may have always controlled the swings.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't control this.
No.
They didn't control GameStop going to 400.
Mm-mm.
They didn't control AMC being down, what was it, at $3 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then being up to 20 something. Now back down to $8 or $12 in pre-market. That's not how the rich control the swings.
Yeah.
What amazes me, especially when there's money on the line like the stock market, so many people are like, well, this is the way it's always been.
Well, and I think too, there's a bit of a conversation in the idea that the little guy, quote unquote, the little guy has a little guy mental complex, right? The little guy is saying to himself, well, the rich are always gonna get richer, right? The rich are always gonna control everything. And I just disagree. I mean, yeah, they have for a long time, no doubt, but at the same time, like, you're totally right. I don't mean to just repeat what you just said, but I think if we have folks commenting and saying, hey, like, the rich are always gonna, control and the strong are always gonna survive on the market. Well, how strong do you have to be to survive losing your ass on GameStop if you shorted that stock for thousands of shares? I mean, you better be damn strong, And so that's why I say the rich didn't control this. I completely agree. The rich got caught with their pants down on a short, yep. And the Reddit user and all those folks enjoyed it, and I don't blame them. And I think this will not be the last time that this happens.
I do think, by the way, the update on Reddit, the update on Robinhood is that Robinhood is going to allow trading today on GME, which is GameStop, and AMC Entertainment, which is AMC. Those two stocks in pre-market are red hot. Like AMC closed at $8.60 yesterday. It was up to $17 in pre-market. It is currently at $12.92. The market opens here in 19 minutes. And I think you are going to see that. I think AMC is going to surge. Now, today's probably the day I'm out, mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it is one of those. I think if we get back up into, and I will have to kind of watch the wave, but if we get into the mid-20s, I'm out on AMC. I will have doubled my money, easily doubled my money. That's all. I'm not looking to make millions on it. Mm-hmm. Today's probably the day that a lot of people get out on GameStop, depending on where that goes. GameStop is up huge in pre-market, and I'll tell you what that is here in a second. They closed at $193.60. Currently, it's at $354. Mm-hmm. So GameStop, the ride's not over for GameStop.
No,
and that's why I say, like, GameStop is not the stock you want to.
It's too late to get in now.
You don't want to dip your toe into GameStop.
No,
stop. That's so hard to say.
It really is.
I don't think you should be dipping your toe into GameStop stock. Yeah, thank you. It's just probably not your best move. But I would encourage you to if this whole thing does anything, I hope it creates people who want to learn more. before they start just throwing their money out.
That's where I'm at, man. I mean, this whole thing has been an awakening for me.
And we're in different generations. I'm 47 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty well understand the market.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten in and out of stocks a significant amount of times.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every stock that I've bought, I knock on wood, and let's see if AMC changes that. Let's just say I haven't lost on a stock in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at my portfolio, I've been very fortunate. Like I can tell you right now, my Apple is winning big. It's split. Their earnings were very good, even though the other day Apple stock was down off their earnings. But like the stocks I'm really playing with right now, I got in American Airlines at $9.60. It's up to $18.10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing really well on that. Curaleaf is a stock my wife picked out. We got into that at $8.50. It's at $13.50. GE. Pfizer's been a little bit of a roller coaster here lately. Pfizer has been a roller coaster, honestly. We're just above. We're about 30 cents above break even on Pfizer. Now we'll see. Johnson & Johnson had a terrible day already today. They announced that their coronavirus vaccine is only 66% effective.
Ouch.
Everybody else is in the high 90s. That's a problem. So that should help Pfizer. But we'll see. Anyway, my point is, I feel like I have a small grip on how to trade and what I want to trade and when I want to get in and when I want to get out. I understand going long. I'm not a guy, Gesundheit. I am not a guy that shorts anything. Like, that's just not my game.
Right.
I am begging you, if you've never traded a stock, don't start now. Give it some time. Let this volatility play. Make deposits. I would not encourage you ever to use Robinhood again, ever. I'm an E-Trade guy. E-Trade's treated me very well. Open an E-Trade account. It's going to take you a week and a half to fund it because they hold your money to guarantee the funds. It's going to take you some time to fund it. Open an E-Trade account. See what happens. Do some research. Maybe talk to a financial advisor and say, hey, what's your investing philosophy? That's what we did. I have a financial advisor because I invest heavily in my 401k. I invest heavily in my retirement. We got a referral for a financial advisor. We had a long talk about income streams and philosophies, and I'll give him credit. He got me into Tesla at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
He got me into Apple at the right time, and then it split, so now I got more Apple than I had. There's a right way and a wrong way, and it's not for everybody. All right, make sure you hit the subscribe button, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show on YouTube, and hit that subscribe button. That was like a bloodletting.
It was. It was a purging of. I don't know. You're the one who did it. What was it?
I'm really frustrated. It is, and it's not just the stock thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I really trace this conversation back to the housing crash, the economy. The idea that the stock market is what is an indicator of how our economy is doing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We had one of the great, and I know I said this yesterday, we had one of the greatest stock market years ever in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the worst economic years we've ever had. Our economy shrunk by 3+ points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unemployment because of the pandemic is huge. I hate this idea that being rich is only for the rich. I hate this idea that there are so many people in this country who, whether you're black, white, Asian, Latino, who don't understand that the tax system is not set up for you to draw a paycheck from some company. They penalize you for that. As you're finding out with our great friends at the Utah Tax Board. It's expensive in the state of Utah. For those of you who don't know, it is really expensive to be single and not own a home in this state.
And making over $100,000.
And not having kids. And making bank.
Man.
They tax you at a very high rate. A very high rate. And that's because that's not how the tax code is set up. Donald Trump's, reform of taxes, his rebuild of the tax code, only further enforces and reinforces that notion. Because who gets real breaks in Donald Trump's tax code? People with LLCs, people who own their own businesses, people with pass-throughs. That's who makes the money. Do you really think 20-something guy that rents an apartment in Scottsdale or in Chicago or in New York City, in Manhattan, in Salt Lake City, do you really think you're maximizing your earning potential by working for John Q. somebody? Because I got news for you, you're not.
And I think people are scared to not work for somebody.
Because people are scared to, people don't believe, and now we're probably devolving too far into this, but I think people don't believe that they can achieve. I think people don't believe that you can open your own business. It's not easy. Frankly, we're in that process right now. It's time consuming. I mean, everybody sticks their head into your orifices to examine who you are. It's expensive. I mean, we haven't even come close to opening our front door yet, and we've spent close to 10 grand on this. And we haven't even begun to open a business, and we've already spent 10 grand. It's incredible. And so my point is, the fear of starting makes a lot of people not start. And we got to get over that in this country.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, man. I don't. With the pandemic and everything going on, I don't think there's going to be... I mean, yeah, there are more businesses opening, but I don't think we're going to see a boom or anything like that.
I do. I think when Joe Biden and this administration figures out what their COVID relief bill is going to look like, there's a lot of money coming out for small business.
Yeah.
Existing and startup. Yelp put out stats, and again, I work at Yelp. Jake works at Yelp. We work at Yelp. Yelp has an incredible analytics and data machine. Yelp put out stats the other day that talked about that new business startups are back to pre-pandemic levels. And what is the number one business startup right now? Takeaway fast food. Specifically, takeaway desserts, where you walk in, you pick up your food, and you walk out. And the model, according to Yelp Analytics, is contactless payment, dessert, where you don't ever have to really deal with anybody. That's the formula that is blown up in the third and fourth quarter of 2020.
It's a good formula.
And those startups are dominating. After that, it's food that's takeaway with contactless payment where you never have to deal with anybody. Hey, I'm here to pick up my online order. What's your name? Monty. Okay. All right, here you go. Thanks. You're out. Yep. You don't have to tip anybody. You don't have to shake hands. It's clean, safe, COVID-proof. That's what's winning.
Yeah.
What else is winning? People who do work on your house of any kind. Roofers, plumbers, electricians, landscapers. Those guys are busy beyond belief. So a lot of laborers are taking advantage of that. And they're like, oh, I know how to run a new sewer line. I'm going to open up a plumbing business. And they are. So you can do it. You can open up small business right now.
Yeah.
You can do that. But you have to have some balls to do it. You have to have some belief to do it. And it's not easy, and people are scared, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, I get it.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. Because I make exceptional money at Yelp. I do really well. And I'm not even too brash to say I'm a top performer. I'm President's Club. I'm really good at my job. I make good money. I'm willing to risk every penny of it to open my own business so that I don't have to work for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Because once you start one, you can start five. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So there you go.
I'm with it.
Okay, 35 minutes of ranting is probably enough.
Hey, that's where we're at in the world right now.
I think we are. Podcasts are an interesting thing. If you look at Dave Portnoy from Barstool, how did he start his whole empire? With a podcast. That's how it started at Barstool. And now he has got a huge, huge following, So much so that he's one of the central voices in this Robinhood thing. He is railing incredibly against Robinhood.
Hey, I'm with the guy. I'm not a huge Barstool guy, but I'm with what
I'm not a Barstool guy at all.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't like Dave. I don't like his politics. I don't like their content. But I agree with him on Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, here nor there.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, please. Just search YouTube, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. Really, anywhere you want to find us, audio podcast. We're on every podcast channel you could want to be on. We're not on Barstool. But if you search iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere you find a podcast, iTunes, Google Play, The Monty Show. Monty, The Monty Show. We are live video streaming every morning on YouTube. Make sure you find us, The Monty Show. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. We're new to YouTube, so what are we, 110 followers now, I guess?
Subscribers.
Subscribers? God, friggin' darn! 110 subscribers on YouTube. And we really appreciate that. Because every time you follow or subscribe, I did it again. Every time you subscribe, every time you subscribe to us on YouTube, the channel grows. Every time you hit the thumbs up, the channel grows. So we really appreciate that. The Monty Show on YouTube. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson, the now quarterback of the Houston Texans, who yesterday officially demanded a trade. And he did that because they hired a white head coach and didn't ask his opinion. And I think, Jake, this is becoming a trend in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks want input on who they're going to hire as head coach. They want input on who their offensive coordinator is going to be.
Yep.
But Deshaun Watson's in a different place than Russell Wilson, who said he wants input on who his offensive coordinator was going to be.
Right.
Is Deshaun Watson wrong for demanding a trade?
No, I don't think he's wrong. I think how are you going to tell someone wrong for their beliefs? Like who is anybody to tell anybody that they're wrong based on what they believe? You know, I think Deshaun is uniquely qualified to do this and take, because in the NFL, anytime you kind of like, you know, go against the grain, you go up against upper management, you do those kind of things. I mean, it is a potentially a career hurting move. Like, you can hurt your career doing it. Now, Deshaun is someone who's in extremely high demand and knows that he's got that leverage over the Texans, and so he can ask for a trade and not sweat it, you know? So I agree with what he's saying. I think the Texans handled this whole thing like really poorly, and I would not want to go and be a Houston Texan, honestly. Like, I wouldn't. Why would you go to an organization that clearly, you know, doesn't listen to their star players, isn't really about winning? They're not. They're just this organization that just sort of exists. So I think if I'm Deshaun, yeah, I would have asked for a trade as well, and I'd be trying to go somewhere where I can actually win. That's what I'd be trying to do. Yeah,
and I think the leading place right now, I'm not from Deshaun Watson's perspective. The best fit for Deshaun Watson right now in the NFL is easy, it's simple, it's clear. It's the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they have a situation with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy
Garoppolo. They have a situation with Jimmy Garoppolo where he's not met expectations. He has not performed, certainly at a level of the Patriot way. He did not perform the way I think that most 49er fans and really 49er brass would have hoped.
Right.
The knee injury was significant. He's got an injury history. And frankly, Deshaun Watson is on another athletic level than Jimmy Garoppolo is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deshaun Watson has few equals in the NFL. Now, quarterbacks I would take over him, yes, I'm still taking Tom Brady. Yes, I'm taking Justin Herbert.
Over Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Dude, you're high, bro.
I think a year from right now, Justin Herbert has a chance because he's working with Tom House and he's obviously putting in the effort in the offseason. They had a coaching change and the voices will change in his head. I think Justin Herbert has a chance a year from now to be arguably the best quarterback in the NFL.
That may be true, but he's never going to have the athleticism that Deshaun Watson has. And I'm not going to say never because he will be a 4,000 or 5,000 yard passer. That'll happen, but that's
he already
not right
is. He already is, right? I mean, he
Maybe
already
he is. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm not. That's too much. I disagree.
What is too much?
To say that Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. There's no way I'm saying that.
I think you are going to be hard pressed. He is a rookie who threw for 4,336 yards and 31 touchdowns.
I'm sure he did. That's great.
And Justin Herbert only threw 10 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
You already have a guy that functions at a very high level, and he had mediocre coaching doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the San Diego, LA playing the Rams Stadium Chargers have made a complete change in their coaching staff. This guy's only going to get better. And he's in the guru of quarterback coaching with Tom House. He's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at Deshaun Watson, I don't know if he gets exponentially better. Is it the question about Deshaun Watson, and I think it's a hard one to answer. Is he at his ceiling right now?
No.
Because
I don't think he is.
so if you don't think he is, where does he get better?
He gets better when he's got better talent on the field to throw to. That's when he gets better. When he's got better options and a better offense who actually want to win games. That's where he gets better. So instead of having to throw to Will Fuller, who's hurt all the time, he's going to be able to throw to, guys who actually have been there and done that and have won games before, and so, yeah, sure. I don't even disagree that Justin Herbert's going to be a great quarterback, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he's somehow better than a guy in Deshaun who has played on you want to talk about playing on a bad team. He's been on a bad team for a long time.
4,823 yards for Deshaun Watson this year, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got the numbers, yeah. But I think more than the numbers, it's the intangibles. We're not talking about a guy who we're not talking about Deshaun the same way we're talking about Lamar Jackson as an example. Deshaun's game is not limited like that.
Right, but I think there's a lot of people who think that Deshaun Watson has to run. He doesn't. He runs by design. If you look at his run pass statistics and his ratios, Deshaun Watson is a pass first quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson can't pass at all, so he has to run.
Mm-hmm.
He is a run. Think about passing, but I'm going to run while I think about passing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with all due respect to Lamar Jackson's athleticism, because he's a superior athlete, he's just not a very good quarterback.
Yeah, they only got by the Titans because he was able to run for that touchdown, not because he threw.
I would agree with that. And I think the interesting thing is, I think there's a lot of people who even to this day will tell you that you have a guy in Deshaun Watson that's got incredible upside. I don't know how much better he can get.
Well, numbers-wise, he's in a place where it's almost impossible. Do you have his completion percentage there this year? Is he in the high 60s? Where is he?
70.
So he's even over 70 for completion.
He had a career year.
Dude,
Deshaun Watson had a career year. He had an elite season.
So that's what I'm saying.
Started all 16 games for the first time in his career.
Dude, everybody's blowhard over Aaron Rodgers this year and that he's an MVP. What is this guy doing, dude? Seriously. Aaron Rodgers' numbers are right in the 70% completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers may have a better touchdown-interception ratio. Sure, okay, I can get down with that. But I don't know, man. I think Deshaun's always been undervalued. I think, when you ask the question, where can he get better? Hey, you're taking a 5,000-yard passer who's got a great completion percentage, and you're putting him on a team that's well-coached and has been to the Super Bowl already. That's where he's going to get better.
My feeling is, and this is just my opinion, my feeling is Deshaun Watson ends up in the NFC because they're not going to trade him in the AFC.
Yeah, I have a tough time thinking that, too.
That's why I think he won't go to Miami.
Yeah.
I could see Jacksonville with Urban Meyer. I could absolutely see Carolina, although I think Carolina's got a lot of issues because I don't like Matt Rule as head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how if you are the Jets or the Patriots, you're not making that call. But again, Cal McNair is a real piece of work, the owner of the Texans. I don't think he'll trade him in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's two teams in the NFC that would desperately like him. San Francisco 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. I think those two teams, although I have a hard time believing that Houston is going to make a trade with New Orleans because they're essentially neighbors.
Right.
Geographically speaking, it's not a stretch for a Houston Texan fan to become a New Orleans Saints season ticket holder.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't see that happening. So it really narrows it down to 2 NFC teams, and not because I'm from Chicago or a huge Bears fan.
It's frustrating that they're not being more aggressive with it.
I think they are. I think they're into it. I think the Chicago Bears realize that they have to go and get a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think they'd like not to draft one because they can't miss. I think they will make every possible move to go and get Deshaun Watson. I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to be a San Francisco 49er, in my opinion. Because I have a lot of problem thinking that Cal McNair wants to lose to Deshaun Watson in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that if he sends him to a quality team that's being run correctly, so the Saints, the Dolphins, certainly with Flores are on the way up, right? I think that's why he doesn't want to do that. He's not going to send him to the Patriots. I would be shocked if that happened.
Right. Yeah.
I think the only AFC team that's really likely is the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And I think the Jets are more comfortable drafting a quarterback than they are giving away a haul on somebody that's known. Because the Jets have never been a team that goes out and splurges on free agents.
Well, and they've never been a team that makes good decisions. You know, I mean,
You're absolutely right.
So, like, listen, I hope for Deshaun's sake he winds up in San Francisco. I really do. I would love to see him. I want to see Deshaun Watson on a good team in the postseason with the game on the line. That's what I want to see. I want to see him go out and prove to everybody that he deserves to be in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league. Not because right now,
man, that's such a tough conversation.
Love it or hate it, though. Like for Deshaun, he is not regarded as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's a really good guy.
But I think it's because people don't watch the Houston Texans.
I would agree. Yes.
And I think that's why, if you look at what's going on in Houston right now, they're going to lose Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt in the same offseason. Let that sink in. J.J. Watt, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, J.J. Watt, one of the best citizens you could ever have on your football team, J.J. Watt is going to leave Houston.
Yeah.
And
he's a free agent?
Yeah, and they're going to hold the door open for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. And the other thing that's interesting about the Deshaun Watson conversation, how many quarterbacks are you actually going to find like this guy?
Not many.
So
not in the draft or in the league.
Is it really that much of a stretch to give up a bunch of draft picks for him?
No, it's not. Especially in my opinion, if you're a team like the 49ers, who if you pick him up, you're instantly back in the Super Bowl conversation, in my opinion. But, again, you still have to go out and play games.
I don't think it's a stretch at all. And people, maybe this goes back to the Wall Street open your own business conversation thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to win, you got to have a quarterback.
Have to.
Is there any better example of that than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Who's going to the Super Bowl? Yep.
Right? I mean, Tom Brady has transformed their beliefs.
Patrick Mahomes has transformed their beliefs.
But even more than that, because I feel like Kansas City built a team around Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. They did. Absolutely, they did.
But Patrick was the finishing touch on that. If you look at the Houston Texans, they've never done that. If you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got Tom Brady, and they used Tom Brady to go out and get Rob Gronkowski, to go out and get Antonio Brown, to get guys that are difference makers.
Right.
So Tom Brady, they leveraged Tom to get other pieces that have now put them in to the Super Bowl. And on top of that, what else has it done? It's made guys like Tyler Brait. It's made guys like Mike Evans. It's made guys like Leonard Fournette and Rojo and everybody else on that team. Tom Brady makes the defense better.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has made everybody better. He has elevated the expectation. That's what Deshaun Watson could do for you in San Francisco.
Yeah.
George Kittle becomes a better player because Deshaun Watson's there.
Mm-hmm.
The running backs, and they got to figure out their running back situation, but the running backs become better running backs because you have to worry about Deshaun Watson on defense.
Mm-hmm.
He makes everybody better. So giving up 3 first-round picks to get him, I'm probably going to do that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They're going to ask for multiple ones. They're going to ask for that.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to get it.
Yeah.
Right? So I say to the Chicago Bears, I'm begging you, go and do it. I am begging you to go and do it. Look at AMC.
It's coming, dude.
Market's open, and AMC is already up to 14.30.
It's coming.
Let's go. Let's do this thing. See,
it's an erection.
I'm telling you right now, I have got blood flowing to the lower extremities. It is happening. I am swole. You know, I got to go change into bigger boxer shorts. No,
just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
Now I've gone too far. But the point is, we're right there. We are right there. And
I want it.
This is going to be one of the most important trading sessions in the history of the stock exchange.
Mm-hmm. It is.
This is going to be one of the most important sessions of the New York Stock Exchange's history.
Yes.
If you are not watching TV today, you better be. Because AMC's up to 14.30, and when this opening bell hits, I'm telling you.
Yep.
It's going to get real. So,
yep.
There you have it.
Yep.
There you have it. What else do you want to talk about today? We were supposed to talk NBA today.
Well, that's every day.
It is every day on this show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube
Yeah, you
channel.
don't follow us on YouTube. You subscribe.
Douche. Make sure you follow her. Oh, God, you... Why do you even throw it out there, man?
What? What did I do? I'm just sitting here.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. You know, somebody pointed out the other day, after you did, that if you search YouTube for The Monty Show, it is an avalanche of us.
Because it's all part of the plan.
It is. It is.
Just saying. SEO works.
And the best part of it is, if you just do a Google search of The Monty Show, I mean, it all pops up. Like, if you just go ahead and Google search it, it all pops up. And that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. That's why you should follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The Monty Show. Monty, The Monty Show. That's why, friends, you should follow us on anywhere you get a podcast. Follow us on any podcast platform.
Mm-hmm.
That would be The Monty Show. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. And I'm telling you, it's absolute beauty. It is absolute beauty, The Monty Show on YouTube. Are the Lakers in a free fall? They've lost 2 in a row. They had been 10-0 on the road. And now, after a really bad loss last night in Detroit, they are now 10-2. They've lost 2 in a row.
Well,
last night was embarrassing.
Right.
But there's a lot of people panicking over the Lakers right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you panic about the best team in the NBA. But maybe that question has to be reassessed. Are the Lakers still the best team in the NBA?
Yes, they're still the best team in the NBA. It's not even a question, dude. I think this is what we do, and well, it's not what I do, but this is what fans do. Oh my God, it's the Lakers. They lost a couple games in a row, even though we're not talking about the fact that Anthony Davis didn't play, right? Oh my God, we lost the game. Oh my God, the Jazz are number 1 in the West, or the best team in the West. We're going to win a championship this year, right? Bro, it's January. Do you really think that they're going to try and win every single game in January? You really think that they care about losing to the Pistons like that? I mean, yeah, sure they care, but it's not like the end of their existence, you know? And I think what people need to understand, especially this year, because this year is different than any other year, after the way the bubble schedule played out, and especially for a team like the Lakers who won the championship and played really deep into the calendar year, these guys are tired. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, yes, they're professional athletes, but you got to understand, for 20 years, these guys were on one schedule. And then that all changed, and now all of a sudden we had a month off, and we're back at it again. So, yeah, there's going to be times when the Lakers lose, and it's cool, because at the end of the day, they're going to be in the postseason, they're going to play their series, and they're going to win their series, and they're going to match up against someone from the East in the NBA Finals. That's how this is all going to play out. And so that's Well, I say no. They're still the best team in the league. Zero reason to panic. They lost a game last night because Kyle Kuzma was starting. He's not a starter. And the only reason that happens is because Anthony Davis got a rest. That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't panic if I were a Laker fan. I just wouldn't. I think it's pretty simple. The bigger question for me is who actually winds up going to the playoffs. Because I watched a Suns team last night play a completely different brand of basketball than they played 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only because Monty Williams, the head coach of the Suns, ripped them post-game the other night. And I agree. Charles Barkley listens to our show every day. We know that because he says the exact same things at night that we say in the morning, which I'm fine with, Chuck. I mean, it's good to have you. But he said they have no identity, which is what I've been saying all season. Like, their inconsistency is that they don't use Devin Booker as a feature player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we got to spread it around to the young guys. No, you don't. Oh, well, we got to get everybody involved. No, you don't. We got to play team basketball. No, you don't.
Do the Lakers do that?
No, you don't. Because, no, you don't. You don't have to do that. You need to feature your star players. And I think Chris Paul, by being a point guard, is on the ball, and so he's featured on that team.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many possessions that go by where
it's
Devin
optional.
Booker doesn't touch the basketball.
Yeah.
It's Dame last night with the game on the line. He never touched the basketball.
Bro, that pissed me off so much when I watched that. You got a rookie taking the last shot to win the game, and Dame's over there standing in the corner. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And by the way, yeah, you mentioned Monty Williams. Here's a little taste of that from the other night.
Your coach obviously up big in the first half, and just another game can't close it out. What do you feel like wasn't working? I know obviously the offensive fouls on some screens, but was this more?
That's an excuse for anybody who wants to feel sorry for us. Period. We had a 10-point second quarter because we missed shots and we let offense dictate how we're going to play. That's what's messed up the second quarter. And down the stretch, we have unbelievably poor finish. We got open shots. We got missing shots under the basket. It's just poor execution and poor finishing. That's it. We scored 97 points. We shot 37% from the field. At some point, you just have to finish out games and understand what it takes to be a really good team is consistency, period.
Dude.
Well, I mean,
bro,
he ain't wrong.
He went in.
He's not wrong, right? I mean,
no, he's not wrong, but it's rare that you see a head coach do that. I mean, not that he was outlandish or anything, but I love the accountability of it.
Yeah, so do I. But it's at some point something in Phoenix has to change, and I don't know. I don't know how you get the best out of this team because Monty Williams is a hell of a coach. But again, I just feel like Devin Booker's out there on a nightly basis chasing his whole, and I don't understand why he has to chase it or go find it. He shouldn't have to go find it. It should come to him.
Mm-hmm.
He should, like, I love Mikal Bridges. You know, I like Cam Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I want Devin Booker to take the last shot of the game. Yeah. Why are we driving kicking to Cam Johnson? Why are we driving kicking? Like the other night, like you set up a driving kick to Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I think the Suns are a real interesting watch. What are the Denver Nuggets going to do? Because I think they know they're not talented enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious if the Utah Jazz are the real deal here.
Yeah.
Are they the best team in the West?
They're a real deal for 10 games, and then they'll give you 5 games off. And then you got to question them again. That's who this team is, you know? And I think at the end of the day, that question's not going to be answered anytime soon. That question will be answered in the postseason, in a 7-game series, and we're going to have the same conversation. Unless they surprise us. Hey, maybe they'll make a move. Maybe they pick up, maybe they somehow, some way go and get Bradley Beal. I don't know. You know, maybe they make some kind of season-changing move, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know how. I think there's a lot of teams that have a lot more questions than answers. I don't worry about the Clippers, Lakers. I have real reservations about the Jazz, as we've talked about. I have real reservations about the Sixers, the Celtics. Brooklyn is by far the best team in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bucks are incredibly flawed. Giannis Antetokounmpo has to hit threes, or they're not going to win.
Right.
It is that when he
that's kind of scary.
When he picks up a three ball, they're going to start winning. That's what I would say. So, 12 minutes away from the opening bell.
Mm-hmm. You're doing well.
12
it's
minutes
coming.
away. I am.
Hopefully by midday.
I am excited. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens here. It will be very interesting to see how this all plays out with AMC and GameStop today. And there's some other, by the way. There are going to be some others that'll go, but AMC and GameStop, I want it.
Of course you do.
I'm thirsty.
Of course. I mean, I don't know if it's going to peak at like 25 though. That's my only concern. Like I feel like the ceiling might just be a little low. You know, I think 20 is where it's going to slow down.
Barry is screaming because I'm not reading his messages.
He wants it.
He does want it, which I guess. Barry says, "You're an idiot, Monty. This is why guys like you lose their money." And then he goes on, "Are you going to read my message?" Called me a coward, which is fine. Which is okay, cool, Barry. He basically he said, "I've used Robinhood for years and I count on them." Well, what do you mean for years? What are they, a 3-year-old company?
Yeah.
Really, truly, 3 years? Nobody knew they were on the planet 5 years ago. I've always counted on them. They consistently make the right decision. How often do you have to consistently make a decision of this magnitude? With all due respect, Barry, look, man, I know, and Barry, I don't remember what, Barry may have been a financial advisor, I can't remember, but whatever. Robinhood didn't do right by its members, it did right by Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that people will forget about Robinhood is that there were no SEC regulations that said they had to stop trading these stocks.
Yep. It was their own choice.
None. If there had been a freeze on GameStop and AMC, they wouldn't have been able to sell.
Yeah.
Robinhood allowed you to sell. They didn't allow you to buy that stock. That's only done for one reason, to protect the hedgers, to protect the shorts and the hedge funds. Anyway, it is what it is. It's Eldom. It is the last day of the month of January.
Man, I'm glad it's Friday. Bro.
For those of us Yelpers, yes. I'm glad it's Friday. I need a good night of sleep tonight.
Last week of the month stress is real.
It is.
It's real.
It is. I got goals to hit, MFA. We'll talk to you on Monday. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. On YouTube, don't forget, we have 1 week from today will be our final broadcast on Periscope. Make the move now. Find us on YouTube, subscribe, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. Until Monday, Jake.
Onward to 20, AMC.
Okay. Bye-bye.